Welcome to Comadres y Comics. Comadres y Comics is a podcast hosted by 3 Latina women.
We highlight the Latinx presence in the comic book industry as creators, characters, and fans.
Join us as we talk chisme, comics, fandom, and beer. And welcome to a new episode of Comadres y Comics. This is episode 253. We're your hosts. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jen.
Hi, girls. How's everything going?
Hi.
Hello.
Well, it's going. I mean, with everything going on.
I'm full of rage.
Yes.
Same.
Yes, absolutely.
And my moratorium on not engaging with politics on social media is over, and nobody is safe.
Good. Nobody should be safe because it's a very unsafe time right now.
True.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's I've been stress eating. It doesn't help that I made a pot of beans and eating them all sorts of ways, with cheese, without cheese, with chicharron, with carnitas. Like, I've just been eating. After I scroll through social media, it's just like really aggravating, and I don't know. It makes me feel so many things, and none of them positive. It's all just doom and gloom right now.
Yeah. And it's like, it's in this special kind of fucked up because, like, we're like, I mean, I'm not living in Los Angeles right now, but all of my family, all my friends, you guys, you're all there. And it's just a lot like, and I feel like I had to convince myself not to book a one-way ticket back to Los Angeles. Because I was just like, what the fuck is going on? I feel like I need to be there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna call on my friends, check on them, check on my family, see that they're doing okay, that they haven't been picked up in an ICE raid because they were going to go get groceries or something. And it's awful. Like, it's awful because you guys are there and you guys are under curfew, and there's the freaking, like, the National Guard, the Marines, the LAPD, and they're trying to convince us that the LAPD is there to help. Every Angelino knows the LAPD is never there to help. So, and it's just, and like, being the person, like, kind of like watching in from this, but knowing that, like, all the people that I love are there. Like, I want to be there, but I could be more help just here, like, participating in protests, posting links and stuff like that, but it just doesn't feel like enough. And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's a special kind of hell.
Yeah.
Exactly. So for all of you out there, please stay safe. Please post any when you guys have any views of any ice in the area, just post it out to your friends and family. Try to keep them safe. I was going to go to the Rhodium in Torrance. I thought it was Gardena, but apparently it's Torrance. It's a swap meet, and that's only because I went to a swap meet on Saturday with Kristen, and I was just like, or was it Sunday? We went on Sunday, and I just kind of got the vibe. I'm like, I want to go to the Rhodium. I want to see what it's like. And Wednesday I could start work late, so I thought if I go early, then I could come back home and work. But I slept in, and then it turns out that day there was ice at the Rhodium, and I was like, my God, like, I guess I didn't even know how to feel, dude. I honestly don't know, because I'm brown, obviously. You know, they're not gonna stop and say, "Hey, can I see your passport?" No, they're not gonna do that.
They're just gonna pick you up and take you. You're getting kidnapped into unmarked vehicles. Like, it's quite literally a fascist, like, tactic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Today I've been arguing with people online about how what's happening is freaking illegal. And I'm like, these people, these human beings are, they have the right to due process. And they're like, why? Because they're here illegal. They have no rights. I'm like, hello, the Constitution of the United States has certain rights for people as long as you're on United States soil. It might not cover you for everything, but there's like 5 or 6 or 7 of them that it just, you being here, you have a right, and due process is one of them. And I get so fucking angry at people saying they don't have any rights, and that's not true. And you know how easy it is for these people to just not have any empathy or even sympathy for these people who are in this country for the most part because they wanted to better themselves. They wanted to better their family. They wanted to provide a better life for their children. And for no other reason than their skin is brown, these people do not have any humanity for them. And it really makes me upset and angry and frustrated. And I've just been pointing out how they are so cruel for saying the things that they're saying and defending what is happening.
And here's the thing is that they don't even care that they're being cruel anymore. Like if anything, like with Trump being in, the masks are off. There is no pretense at human civility or like even human rights. And here's the funny thing though is that they will gladly be able, like, they don't have rights and stuff like that. Well, like being like or like it doesn't affect me or whatever. It will affect you. This is how things like the Patriot Act got through in the first place in the early 2000s. How the freaking NSA was created. Like all these things that you say, like the government's watching us. It's because we're enabling these things to happen, and soon, like all those rights that you say that they don't have, you're not gonna have either, morons. And it's like they can't, or they won't fucking connect the dots, and you can't even be like, well, like wait and see, like until like your rights are taken away, because then my rights are going to be taken away too. So you know what? I will be a petty bitch. I will be like, you know what? Yeah, choke, die. I don't fucking care. I hope the worst happens to you, because the reality is it's probably not. But I'll will it. I'll will it into fucking existence. I'll wish it upon you. I wish every single fucking one of you who voted for this or who defend it, I really hope you drop and die.
It's so today it was so angering to see a video of Senator Alex Padilla being hauled away and pushed down on the ground and detained for asking a question. When you look at history and you look at how the Nazis took all of the Jewish people away on trains and to the concentration camps, and people who were quote unquote educated, the doctors, the lawyers, they were like, you know what, it's not me, so I'm not going to say anything. And you know what? Eventually it was them. And that's exactly how I feel today when I saw Alex, who is a fucking sitting senator, get pushed down onto the ground and detained for asking a question. I was like, what did this guy do? Did he rush the stage? Did he throw a freaking bomb? Did he brandish a knife? He asked, and he didn't even get to ask his question. He wanted to ask a question. And people seeing this can't see how fascist this behavior and this administration is encouraging that kind of behavior. It's just freaking ridiculous. And he is brown, so what do they care?
Yeah. And not only that, it's like, it's so obvious to me that like California is being singled out, because
100%.
We are
because we have a governor who stood up against
Trump, who like calls him out on his bullshit, is like doing that. But also because California has this reputation. I mean, in every conservative like freaking like promo or I just like, we're like the devil state. We're the demon state. Yes. We're like this lawless land of like somehow softies, but also Satanists and stuff like that. 100%. If he can get California to bend, to fall to heel, everything else comes crumbling down afterwards.
Yep.
So we have to fight. We have to be vocal. We have to be vicious. We have to fight. And it's astounding how some people are just like, no, we can do this. Like yes, all for peaceful protests and stuff like that. But what happens when they don't respond peacefully? I'm just like this isn't an an insight to violence and stuff like that, but I 100% like believe like we're not getting out of this without being bruised, because we're gonna have to fight.
I agree with you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people are talking about, and you know, it's a hyperbole, hopefully, but you know, civil war and this and that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm so angry that I would be like, put me on the fucking front lines. I'll kill a couple of motherfuckers just to get rid of this rage and to stand up for what I think is right.
Yeah. No,
Absolutely,
100%.
I agree.
And
Yeah, I mean, I get so angry that I'm just like angry typing, and then tears are streaming, and because I'm just so angry and can't do anything physically, and I'm just like, you know, fuck it, like, is it even worth it? Because I just like, sometimes I feel like, just burn me alive, like, make a fucking statement, stand up for something, like, it's just crazy.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's hundreds of people who also have the same sentiment. That's why there's hundreds of people protesting, and like it 100% does show that there's it does do protests do something.
Yeah.
So like look up your local protests, look up your local organizations. There's the No Kings protest happening on Saturday, but there will be more as well. Especially, I just know something's gonna happen on Saturday with that fucking parade. Like something's gonna happen, and we're gonna freaking see. A lot of people are saying that he's gonna declare martial law on California on that day. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But all I know is that, you know what? If they need boots to the fucking ground, I'm fucking going.
It's fucking insane, man. Totally insane. And just, I mean, just thinking about like all this stupid shit that is, they're like airing on TV, where these ICE agents, they're just running over people or ramming into their car and searching their car and pulling people out, and then they just like take off. They don't even, I mean, that one guy that they like ran over and he hit his head, and they just like went to the side and just took off. Like, they're just, they didn't even stop to see if he was okay. They didn't even, you know, stop if they heard. They just don't give a fuck. And I can't believe that people's souls are so fucking dark and horrible. Like, I thought I was a fucking demon spawn, but these guys, they're not human. They're just fucking.
I think you have to have a certain kind of personality to apply to be an ICE agent to begin with. I mean, a certain type of personality to be a law enforcement officer to begin with, to be honest with you. Are there good police officers and law enforcement? 100%. I believe that. But I also 100% believe there are more bad than good. And when the good ones don't say anything, that makes you just as bad.
Right.
You're more hopeful than me. All cops are pigs.
I only is because my stepfather was in law enforcement. I grew up knowing people in law enforcement, and to be honest with you, what do I know what they did on the job? You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what kind of person they were? Yes. I try to be hopeful, but I also have heard so many stories of working with girls involved in the juvenile justice system, of the horrible things that LAPD would do to them. And without going into much detail, imagine being a teenage girl, being afraid of getting in trouble and getting violated for probation, and a LAPD officer is telling you how you can get out of it.
Yeah. God. Anyways, that's the LAPD I grew up with. So, I ain't never trust a cop. Ever. Ugh.
Oh, this is... Man, I don't know. All I can say is that do what's right in your heart, and then fight if you're willing to fight, and definitely take care of people around you. They don't have to be your family. They don't have to be your neighbors. They could just be a stranger off the street that needs your help. And I think it's the time to show the real humanity that we have inside. But also, like Jen said, we got to fight. I think this is the time I'm going to transition. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting super emotional, so.
That's okay. I'm literally like seething right now.
Yeah,
I
me
know.
too.
I
Yeah.
can feel it in the back of my head. I'm just like, "Urgh."
I'm literally like.
I mean,
Yeah.
both of you at least, I think, probably have the benefit of not having your social media feeds full of people who
Yes.
voted for Trump.
Yeah.
And that's why I am just every day wake up to some new post that just completely just drives me over the edge all over again. And there I am. And it's not, honestly, you say take care of your neighbors and your friends, but honestly, everybody, take care of yourself, because I am very aware that what I'm doing and what I've been doing since Friday is so bad for me. Like, being angry like this 24/7 and being upset and fighting with my Facebook friends online is not, it's not helpful. It doesn't make me feel better in the moment, yes, but it's not helpful. And I try to remind myself, like, the reason why I never used to post to begin with political is because you're never going to change anybody's mind. But at this point, I'm just like constantly posting. It's like, I don't care if you change your mind or not, but you are going to witness and see what is happening and what your vote caused.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, they're the in the Little Rock Nine, the people like yelling at the small black children. Like, that's you.
Yeah.
Deadass, that's you right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh no, history will prove it, but at the moment we're living history and we got to make it right.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially since we've seen it happen in history and we've studied it, so we have to prevent it from happening again.
You can tell who slept through school.
Oh, I told Sarah the other day that most of the people that I fight with online, their history teacher was the wrestling coach. So there you go.
Oh
Damn.
no.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Chisme de la Semana. And today I have some cool chisme. Spaceballs is getting a sequel. And we also know that Bill Pullman and Rick Moranis are set to reprise their respective roles as Lone Star and Dark Helmet. So may the Schwartz be with you.
Jen, have you ever seen Spaceballs or know even what Spaceballs is?
No.
I knew it.
I've heard of Spaceballs and I have like an idea of it in my head. But yeah, like I've seen memes of it, but I could not tell you what the plot is about.
Right.
Which is funny because I do like sci-fi and I know it's like a sci-fi like staple, but it's just one of those that I never got around to like watching. Because it's not like Galaxy Quest.
Right. But it's along the same line. It's like a satire of another sci-fi show.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. A lot of people, when they watch it, they become instant fan. It's a cult classic. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Rick Moranis is so awesome. And it's just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. For the longest time, I thought Spaceballs was Galaxy Quest until I watched Galaxy Quest, and I was just all like, "You're fired." Hey, look, I was a baby trying to get into like science, into science fiction, and I love Galaxy Quest. So I'm pretty sure I would. I just haven't like gotten around to it. You get me? And like, yeah.
This is like me having a conversation with my physical therapist the other day. And they asked me, "Oh, have you watched anything cool on TV?" I'm like, "Oh, I watched the Pee Wee Herman, documentary on Max." And then there was just complete silence.
They don't know who Pee Wee
Herman
Herman
I'm like,
is?
"Do you guys know who Pee Wee Herman is?" And like, no. I said, "Have you ever heard of him?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Like again, Pee Wee Herman isn't one. Like I know Pee Wee Herman. I know like there's enough like references about him, and like he came out in like a couple of other stuff. But like anything else about him, like I know he's like an icon of like comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, one of those like it's like when people told me that Bernie Mac was a comedian and not just from the Bernie Mac show. And I was just all like, he was a comedian before he got his show. Yeah.
I feel the same way about Richard Pryor, though. Like, I didn't know he was a comedian before, like he was in movies and an actor. And
Sarah,
stuff.
please stop making references that Jen does not know.
Okay.
Like, again, I know the name Richard Pryor, but I didn't. You asked me to name a movie, and I'll be like, I don't know.
Oh, the
man.
toy. That's my favorite Richard Pryor. Brewster's Million. What else? I love those movies. Oh, Stir Crazy.
I've never seen any of those movies.
Anyways, the sequel to the Spaceballs will be produced by Amazon Studios, and Keke Palmer is said to star in the movie as well.
I love Keke Palmer.
I know Jen knows Keke
Yes,
Palmer. So.
like Keke Palmer.
I've heard the name, but I don't know who it is.
Keke Palmer is an icon.
To the youngs.
Yeah. I mean, like, how do you describe Keke Palmer? It's
first of all, she's gorgeous.
She's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm gonna
she's
look
funny, and she's talented.
Well, what has she been in? Is she an actress?
Well, she was in Barbershop 2, and the World Cup. And this is when she was a child. But then she was Aquila in Aquila and the Bee.
Yes. I've heard that name in reference to that movie.
And then she was on from on Nickelodeon Kids.
And I also remember her from Scream Queens because I watched Scream Queens.
Oh, okay. And then, but she was, God, what else was she on? Well, she was just a child star, and she just happened to be like incredibly funny and very charismatic, very vivacious. So she's like in like a lot of comedies, a lot of Tyler Perry films as well. I don't know if she's been in a lot of them, but I know she's been in like at least 2. So she's I guess you could say she's more of like a cultural figure as well.
No, we lost Jen.
Her computer's been giving her some problems.
Oh, that computer of hers.
My bad.
She's back.
I don't know where I cut off, but anyways, I love Keke Palmer.
Okay.
Yeah. So that has been my chisme. Guys, now it's time for On My Radar. Kristen, what is on your radar?
So on my radar this week is a comic book called Comics of the Movement. And it is going to be a comic book that is going to be coming out on July 2nd. And it is published by Good Trouble Comics. And I just learned this today. Very interesting. Good Trouble Comics is a publishing company that has been started by Andrew Aiden. Have no idea who it is, but Callie Sudaconic, Valentine Delandro, Matt Fraction, and Von Chanal. They started in 2019, and it specializes in works of creative nonfiction in comics and other visual media. So this particular book is called Comics of the Movement, and it's going to be reintroducing watershed publications from the social movements of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Wow. Comics of the Movement connects modern readers to the comics which inspired and educated past generations, featuring the first Black Panther in comics, the Lowndes County Freedom Organization comics, which are reprinted for the very first time and are paired with the classic 1957 comic Martin Luther King and the Montgomery Story from the Fellowship of Reconciliation. And there's also going to be additional historical and contextual material in the book. So this is something that is out in the beginning of July. FOC has already passed, but hopefully your shop has ordered it. And if not, maybe contact them, let them know you want it, and see if it's still available to order. So this again is going to release July 2nd, and it's Comics of the Movement #1.
Well, that sounds
Very
super cool.
cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully there's a comic that is made about all the bullshit that's going on right now.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
There will be.
Like, I remember working at Diamond Comics, and right after 9/11, there's a lot of comics that were kind of centered around 9/11. And I mean, it was just like really, God, it was just such an experience to be picking those books and then just seeing the covers and the variant covers and just kind of like holding back tears. It's just, yeah, definitely. All right, guys, it's time for La Hora de la Cervecita. And today, what are we drinking, ladies?
West Coast IPA from the 4-pack from Los SoCal Cerveceros that Sarah was able to commandeer for us. She went out, she waited, she stood in line, she fought people off, and she
Worth it.
got us these. So this is the third of that collection. And just as a reminder, if you haven't heard the last 2 episodes, SoCal Cerveceros are a homebrew club, and they meet, I'm assuming, monthly. I have no idea how often, but they meet, they talk about beer stuffs, they brew their own home brews, and this 4-pack is something, and they don't sell on anywhere in like they don't have it on tap anywhere or anything, but this was a special thing that they did to participate in the fundraiser for, I think, Red Cross, to go towards the fire survivors and rebuilding and stuff that happened back in January here in the LA area at the Palisades and in Altadena. So the one thing that I'm going to write a letter. The one thing that I will say is we want more info on the beers we're drinking. Put it on the can, put it on your website, put it somewhere. Like, I want to know what your vision was.
Yeah. And who exactly made the beer? Because I know
that's a good point.
On the Instagram post that they made, they just tagged the people who made it, but they didn't say who. Well, like which one of which. And I don't follow them closely enough to be like, oh, I know they do this style and stuff like that. No, give me more details. Give me the info.
Yeah.
How did you brew this? Do you have a little like tub in your house?
This is bathtub beer.
Yeah.
You know it.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that of the home brewers that I do know, they've always had their beer in the closet.
Really?
Take it out of the closet. It wants to be let out.
And it's the United Way that they're donating to.
Oh, United Way, yes.
Yeah.
Let me go.
Anyway, when I opened it, it smelled really delicious.
These things have been spilling all over me. So I'm going to open this one very carefully.
What's the ABV on this one? 6.5.
It is 6.5.
A little light
smell
for an
it,
IPA,
smell it,
right?
smell it, guys.
I did.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Oh fuck yeah!
IPA.
Fuck yeah! That's the stuff right there.
Oh,
worth the wait.
What was that one that we had that I liked?
The Saison? Oh no, not the Saison. It was the.
I could have liked the Saison, maybe.
The red, the Irish red.
Oh yeah, the Irish red ale was really good.
But there was a West Coast that we had recently that I think Jen liked.
The Firestone.
Oh,
yes.
Oh
maybe,
yeah. Because it was the hops weren't like in your face; they were accentuated.
Mm. I'm gonna contact them and see if they still have some 4-packs left, because these are delicious. These are just brilliant. They were brewed with love.
You've said that from week 1. So we're going on 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
I don't
Actually drop that message right now. Send that message right now.
Yeah, I don't think you should wait any longer.
I remember every time we're drinking it, so that's probably why I only remember when we're on the show.
Oh, let me go.
I know, terrible, terrible. So, what do you guys think?
I don't hate it. But that's because the hops don't have a lot of flavor. But I don't think this beer has a lot of flavor. No hate, but like,
You know what? I'm gonna have to agree with you. I've been taking multiple sips trying to find something. And
it's like the slow, like, there's like, it's not bad. Like, it's got that hoppy
Agreed.
taste, but it's
Agreed.
just a, like, you would have given me this, and I would have been like, that's a beer. Yeah. What kind of beer? I don't know, but it's a beer.
I
That's
agree.
beer, all right.
There's not a lot of flavor.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it does. I really like the like. There's a lingering kind of like tardiness on my tongue at the end of drinking every sip, which I enjoy. It's very West Coast IPA for me. I can't wait to try the hazy IPA. That's going to be really interesting.
The hazy,
so
I'm
far,
sure, will be yummy because most hazies are.
Mm-hmm.
I've sent the message, by the way.
They usually have like hazy IPAs. Usually have like a strong tropical flavors because a lot of them use pineapple, which I don't hate. I like. Mama likes, but this one, I don't know. I'm really struggling.
So, West Coast IPAs are known for their intense bitterness, fruity and floral aromas, and medium-high alcohol content. American hops give them a citrus-like character, and they often have an IBU of 60 or higher. So, for those of you who are IPA lovers, examples of this are Sculpin from Ballast Point, Pellet Wrecker from Green Flash Brewing. There is not any other ones that. Oh, Lagunitas. IPA is a West Coast.
Yeah.
Lagunitas is very, very widely carried in bars and clubs. I noticed.
Yep.
It's right under the 805.
Right.
As far as like what they have to offer.
Yeah.
They're usually, you know what, I've been seeing them also in like arenas or like
Yeah. Yes, they're like the most like sought after, like at public places, you know, like yes, usually, we do have craft beer, sort of like they're kind of, yes, we do have craft beer. We have Lagunitas and you know, Ballast Point or whatever. Actually,
very baby's Costco, first craft beer.
Yes, 100%.
So if you go to Costco, you can get like a 24-pack of Lagunitas and 805, and then maybe if you're lucky, they have Ballast Point. And if you're really lucky, they'll have like this really great mixed pack of a Voodoo Ranger, which is very rare. But those are kind of like the highlights that Costco carries. It doesn't really carry any other kind of like craft beer, actually.
So the kind of quote craft beer, and I'm putting it in quotes, that you find at Costco, Target, Walmart, whatever, those are all craft beers that not everybody, a lot of purists complain sold out. So they're craft breweries that started off as a small local craft brew, and they fucking made it. Like, isn't that what is supposed to happen when you own a business? Yeah. Like, you made it. But I remember when Ballast Point got bought out by, I don't know if it was Coors. It was one of the big ones that took over Ballast Point, maybe. But one of the two, most likely. I did notice a difference because what happens is they come in, they put their policies and procedures and everything on the beer. They probably cut corners. And when you are producing en masse, a lot of times little things and that you people put a lot of like care and like really made sure that things were made right, that goes by the wayside. And I did notice a change in Ballast Point's Sculpin, because Sculpin used to be one of my favorites. Now, if you go to San Diego and you sit at the bar and you get it from draft, completely different, and it tastes just the way that it used to taste.
Mhm.
But the mass-produced stuff that you find in the grocery stores, canned and bottled, definitely was a change from where it used to be. But I'm not mad at these people who were successful in their venture. Like, that's the dream. That, you know, that
Not only that, it's like it also allows you an opportunity to find another local brewery, another locally sourced, locally crafted beer. Broaden your horizons. Like, come on, people. Change is fine.
I hate change, to be honest. But
I do too, but we gotta embrace it sometimes. You know, I mean, it's a necessary evil, I think. You know.
Yeah, what's the only thing that saying? The only thing that stays the same is, or the only
Death
thing
and
that
taxes
that stays the same is that nothing stays the same, or something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, where we initially upon opening the can, I felt there was a lot of like a fruity sensation. I couldn't really picture it, but that was me. I totally got like a fruit aroma when I initially opened it, and
when I put my nose really into the hole, I can get like a floral note.
into the hole. Yes,
yeah, you know,
it does have.
I just smell hops.
See, I don't know. No, I had this like fruity sensation when I initially popped it open, but no, I'm really enjoying this. I actually really like this.
It's beer.
I feel this is how I think. I take a sip and my tongue starts to taste something, and then it just goes away.
Yeah.
It just into the ether. It goes away. Yeah. That's how this beer is.
It's so weird, because I do get like a tangy like aftertaste right in the middle of my tongue, and I really enjoy it. Like, I'm trying to sip it because I know if I drink it too fast, I'm gonna get all buzzy, because I haven't eaten anything since lunch.
Same.
So
same.
Yeah.
I was also drinking a seltzer earlier.
Same, and somehow that just makes Jen drink faster. So.
Well, I have liquor before my liquor, okay?
She pre-partied before the podcast.
she pre-partied. But I think we're ready to rate it. What's our rating scale, Kristen?
Yes, so our beer rating scale is a 5-point scale where 1 out of 5 is very unsatisfied, 2 out of 5 is just regularly unsatisfied, a 3 out of 5 is neutral, a 4 out of 5 is satisfied, and a 5 out of 5 is very satisfied. But if a beer is off the charts, we will give it a Super Saiyan. And I will go ahead and get started, and I'm just going to give it right in the middle, 3 out of 5 neutral, because honestly, that is the flavor that I'm tasting. It's just a neutral flavor. Mm-hmm. It's neither here nor there. And I am also not mad at it. Like, I'll finish it. But it's just not very flavorful to me. I've had better.
I'll go next. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Yeah, because I feel like a 3 out of 5 would still give me like a little bit more, but I'm not really getting anything. But also, again, I don't hate it. I will keep drinking it, but it is exactly like what I picture beer from someone's tub would taste like. Like, someone tells me, it's just like, here, I made my own beer and I drink it, and I'm just like, yeah, that's beer. You did it.
Good try.
You made it, bro. Like, you did it.
You did that.
You did that. You made your own beer, bro. Proud of you. Actually, never mind. I changed my stats. 3 out of 5.
I'm
3 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it a satisfied. This is Sarah. I find it very delightful. I am the one that likes West Coast IPAs in general. So, I found the aroma very delightful at the beginning when I cracked it open. And like I said, I'm sipping it because I don't want to drink it too fast, but I really, really enjoy it. So I'm gonna give it a satisfied. satisfaction. Anyway, that has been our beer review. All right, guys, now it's time for our book review. And I have been waiting to review this book.
I am waiting to hear you.
Since we
review
logged
this
on,
book.
because you guys have a lot of points. But I got to say, this has been an amazing freaking read. I freaking am a humongous fan now. Huge fan of this this particular writer and artist. So Richard Fairgray I'm a fan. You blew my mind. He both wrote it and drew it. His art style is just amazing. I love the way.
Can we just read the back before you?
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I just got all excited. I'm super excited.
Will read the back.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
This is a story about adventure, sex clubs, divorce, breakups, toxic friendships, moving to Hollywood, all while trying to be a good person, make comics, and not turn into an octopus. And then there's a couple of accolades from, we know some of these people, I think.
Yeah.
Read them.
It's very locally sourced. Okay, I will read the first one. As he slowly transforms into an octopus, his experiences with different old men of the sea guide him through this challenging metamorphosis. In this unflinching memoir, Fairgray uses his immense talent as an artist and storyteller to lay bare and accept his inner octopus. Jessica Mason, Mary Shelley's School for Monsters.
I need both of your guys' input, and the next time I see Richard in person, I'm going to have to ask him, please explain to me the metaphor. Do you guys have thoughts on what the octopus was a metaphor for? Or how it fit into the story?
Well,
honestly, you go first.
Go ahead.
Go first, please.
Okay. Okay, so for me, knowing that in the story we find out that his favorite book is Moby Dick.
Mm-hmm.
And so like he has some kind of like calling to the sea. And then part of one of his blackouts, he had a go to the sea like on his chest from laying in the ink. And then he meets the captain, which he actually thought that it was a figment of his imagination. So I think a lot of the roads in his mind lead to the sea. And being an octopus, I think he feels like it's one of the most like kind of mysterious and kind of like kind of not mysterious, kind of like the mystery of being an octopus. Like they're super smart, they're like highly intelligent creatures. They also don't have any bones, so they're able to squeeze into anything and kind of like just appear into anywhere. Like they're not able to be like held in, they're able to just escape, I guess, from any kind of captivity in a sense. And also the tentacles just have the ability to just kind of like taste everything, like just grab at everything and not anything really at all. So like it's all like a big kind of I wouldn't say candy store, kind of a big kind of way to kind of like experience different things. So he's not just like, it's not just two hands where I'm touching the microphone and this is it. It's like 8 tentacles where he can reach out for the beer, reach out for like anything else, and there's like different textures and it's all going on at once. That's what I think.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did I go overboard?
No.
I find what you had to say very interesting, and it's very introspective. I just feel like, based on what I read in the book, you just gave me a very positive and fantasized whatever view of this octopus, and that's not the feeling I got from him. I got from him that it was something very intrusive, and that he was always apologizing for it because the tentacles would come out at very inopportune moments, and he would always be like, I'm sorry, and he is trying to prevent himself from becoming one. So I am just trying to find meaning, and maybe It's not for me to find out, but I just was very curious.
I also feel that yes, I do feel like yes, there was one point where they were gonna he was gonna cuddle, but then his tentacles came out and he just
Turn the other way.
turned the other way to.
I have to tell you that scene those
was
panels
amazing.
wrenched my heart.
I love those panels.
It
I
was
like,
like when he just turned the other way and just like stared off into the abyss. I was like, oh my god! Like it was that scene almost to me was the pinnacle of the octopus and this story of like how it had really taken over his life, but not in a good way.
Well, I actually felt that yes, he wasn't embracing the octopus in a sense throughout the story because he felt maybe scared of it. But I also feel like it was one of his strengths, you know, in the end. Like I felt like, excuse me, it's the beer. Embracing that and just was part of the evolution of his being in the story. That's how I felt.
Okay.
What about you, Jen? You were going to say something.
So, to me, I mean, there is like octopuses are very alien-looking creatures. Like they're like depending on who it is, like they're either weird and monstrous or they're beautiful, and tasty.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
Delicious.
Gross.
But to me it was almost, but there's also like a lot of like the whole like tentacle monster thing in hentai and then like some like in like sex stuff. There's also this they are creatures of transformation, of camouflage as well. But it's so funny because they're most known for like producing ink for when they're scared as well. So as I was reading it, I kept thinking like, one, great allegory, but two, it depends on like the perspective. He saw himself as this monstrous creature, but for who he ends up with, he was something beautiful, something that could be loved. So I was seeing it more as him discovering himself, but also kind of like battling with like his wants and his desires, and not just also like being like a creature of just pure like sex as well, which he could be, which could have like the tentacles and stuff like that. It's such a weird way, like to not weird, but like a different way to navigate, because it could be taken in these many perspectives as well. So I saw the octopus as a metamorphic being, creature that he was learning to either he could like fall into just like this person that's only pursuing sex, or he could become this monstrous person, or he could just be a creature of constant change. And I think it kind of all blended in together at some point, because I'm not gonna lie, like reading this, as I was reading it, I was just like, god damn, this is we had been talking about it earlier, but this is a completely different perspective from my own queer experience. Some of it did ring true, getting into probably not very well recommended, like going to go sleep at a stranger's house after just meeting online. I mean, who hasn't in this modern era? Who hasn't done it?
She's like, who hasn't done that?
Who hasn't done that? Who hasn't hit up some random weirdo on the internet for sex and followed through with it? You could die, or you could get laid, or both, or maybe sometimes you can find the love of your life. I don't know. It's very like a very like similar but different experience, because one, I'm not a cis white gay man, So some of it, there's definitely some cultural aspects that I was just so like, bro, like, couldn't be me.
What were you going to say about your perspective about the octopus? You were going to say.
Um, what had I been saying? Sorry, my bad. Oh yeah, so the it's funny enough, again, back to the Moby Dick things of it. Great book, by the way. Did not appreciate it when I was a teenager. Super appreciated it once I was in college and I was reading it, and I was just like, God damn. Moby Dick, great read. But I also thought it was funny that they mentioned Melville and Nathaniel Hawthorne as well. They probably had gay sex. They most definitely had gay sex. Or something along those lines. But again, like, Melville was a younger man. Hawthorne was an older man. There's definitely a lot of like cultural aspects. And I'm just like, bro, are you okay? Do you need therapy? Do you need a hug? Like, definitely, it did, like, I know not every, not even like gay awakening or, preference, isn't rooted in trauma, because, especially now as well, I'm so glad the baby gays are just coming out, pride flags, and people are just so like, yeah, like, cool, everything. I mean, there's certain areas where that it's not possible, but when it is kind of when it is tied with trauma, it definitely is heartbreaking. And like, yeah, like, over time we get to joke about it. We can be like, ha 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 ha, like, and so, but it's still like that happened. Like, there is a very, very traumatic thing that happens to him as a kid, and it is not the reason that he is queer, but I think there is, and he mentions it in the book too, as to his preference and stuff like that. I mean, we, like, psychologically, I like know like a little bit about it. I don't usually dig too much into it because then I will say things about me and I'm just like, you know what, I think I'm good, I don't need to examine that. But it was tough to read, and it I guess I would have liked a content warning or something.
Well, I gobbled it up. I loved the heck out of it. Like, it felt like a little bit of my story. Like, I felt like really seen in this book.
The gay bathhouses, the dating old man, the calling your partner to say that you're going to hang out with a friend but going to a gay bathhouse. Which part, Sarah?
Okay, well, let me show you. Let me show you. It's very hard for me to separate self-worth from sex. Someone being attracted to me is a very easy way to feel good about myself. Equal pleasing someone sexually, it's a straightforward way of gaining a sense of accomplishment. Clearly defined signs of success. There you go. That's me right there. 100% when I was in my 20s.
So not to take anything away from you, but I honestly, exactly what you're saying, I honestly feel like most women in their 20s fall into that. I certainly did. You find, it's just how they say women fall in love to have sex because they connect it. Men have sex to fall in love. And who knows, that's not, a blanket statement, it's just a generalization, but it's definitely it definitely speaks to a misogynistic world where women are constantly taught and fashioned to seek the approval of men.
Mm-hmm.
And sex is the ultimate approval. And it doesn't have to be good, but if someone says you're good enough to have sex with, that means you're in that moment, in that night, for that 15 minutes, that you were worthy. And I think that's, women fall into that. And even if it is just a stranger off the internet, they want to have that connection, that emotion. And when they get ghosted and when nothing comes of it, it's devastating. And I definitely remember in my 20s also feeling that way and experiencing that.
Well, I just love this book. It was just like so inspiring to me. Yes, and a little bit of my youth was a little bit bathhousey. Not necessarily bathhouse, but like there were moments where, like, you know, you would meet someone, and this was before even I didn't have a cell phone back then. I mean, there weren't any cell phones back then. And just kind of meeting someone at the club and going home with them, or, you know, all that stuff, all the like drinking wine from a box, just knocking on your friend's door like at 3 a.m. because like you got in a fight with the guy you were like sleeping with at the time, that kind of stuff. Like it was really just really, and to feel everything that he wrote in this book and all the art that just really defined every single panel. He's a brilliant storyteller, and to see that and to read that, and I'm just like, I want to read it again. It was just so inspiring to me because like all my little weird adventures running down Hollywood Boulevard could have a place out there, and somebody could read them and identify with them. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by inspiring. Not, I understand the trauma because I also did not, had a kind of a rude sexual awakening. Not even sexual. It's just like somebody just crossed a boundary with me when I was young. And that doesn't necessarily define you, but you know, it's part of your experience as a person. And that's what I mean by this book was just so inspiring. And so just the storytelling and the art was just magnificent to me. Like I just loved it. And I know it feels like trauma, but I feel like it's also a life lived, you know, like that's just their particular path. And some of it I could identify with it. You know, that's what I mean. And I think he's a magnificent storyteller. And oh my God, who did the lettering? Because it just was perfect. I love the lettering.
It was pretty good. And
yeah, magnificent.
Even the use of colors in this, because it wasn't used a lot.
Right.
It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed the book, but there was moments in it that were like particularly heavy, or that I just didn't particularly understand because it wasn't my lived experience, and I was just like, but why? And I was just like, I might not ever understand why. But it was a nice, as Kristen had said earlier, like a peek beneath the curtain, and I was just all like, okay.
I feel like, yes, a peek behind the curtain, but also when we peek behind the curtain, the person standing there is flayed from fucking head to torso, and his insides are just spilling out. Like, that's how I feel what I witnessed after reading this book. And he talks in the back about how he wrote this book at the very beginning of COVID, mostly to find purpose, he says, but also to let go of all the parts of his life that were now so far in the rear view. Because I think that all of the experiences that he shares here in this book, and there's a million of them in here, sexual experiences that he is so just open and out with, of what he's experienced and the things that he went through. And not just that, but what he was thinking as he was participating in them. And obviously those are all things all of these are broken down in chapters, and that's where we see the use of color. The pages that separate the chapters, and it's not just this chapter in the book, it's a chapter of his life, of who he was sleeping with, of what he was dealing with, where he was traveling to,
who he was in love with.
Yeah, and all of these chapters have built the man that is standing before us now. And it's just like how I say, behavior is never, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. Your behavior comes from all of your life's experiences, and some of them were good, some of them were bad, some of them may have been traumatizing, and your behavior is a product of all of your life experiences. And he had all of these life experiences that a lot of which he felt like he needed to let go. And so I very, very, very much appreciate and respect the stories that he told in here, and the way that and yes, he's an amazing storyteller, awesome artist. I mean, we talked about the scene earlier of him being in bed with someone and his tentacles start to come out, and to me that is there's a thought that's just right there. Like, he wants to love. And I think you get that from the story.
Oh,
he
absolutely.
wants to love, and more importantly, he wants to be loved, but he doesn't believe that he deserves it. Because at the end, like, he many times wants to break it off with Ray or give Ray an excuse to not see him anymore. And Ray's like, dude, I'm here for the long haul. I'm going to travel here to be with you. I'm going to be here when you come back. And he shows up, and he's very consistent. And so much so that Richard finally believes that Ray loves him, but he still has a hard time trying to reconcile why, because he, I don't think yet quite loved himself. And so, I was very moved by the fact that he actually talks about how he was deterred from writing this book from a lot of people, because if you guys remember, and if you don't, I highly recommend, we read and reviewed his book 4 Color Heroes months back. And it is amazing. It won multiple awards. It has been translated into multiple different. It made me cry. The last freaking panel of that story, I was in tears, sobbing. And it's a YA book, and he was deterred from writing this book because he was told it was going to ruin his children's writing career. But it was more important for him to get the story out, to get the demons out, and I guess for all intents and purposes, to get the octopus out. So I also loved it, but I really felt like I was seeing and watching and experiencing things that I shouldn't have been. And some of the things were very traumatizing to me. I also have had experiences as a child that were very similar to what he had. And quite honestly, maybe that is why it hit me as hard as it actually really did. And it colored and affected the way I read the rest of the story, I guess. Because also I wanted to be like, are you okay? Do you need a hug? And honestly, I'm not a hugger. And so I identify with him a lot in those ways too. Like, I have had a hard time in my life accepting love. So much going on in this book. You can do a whole psych 501 on this book.
It is. We haven't really talked about art or like anything, but it's all so amazing. And I think the fact that we said like he's won awards and stuff like that, you can tell that it's all good. But it's such a raw piece of material.
Yes.
As well. And I don't think it's a career ruiner at all.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah. Not. But it definitely deserves like, an over 18 label Or yeah.
Well, yes.
I mean,
okay.
I don't know how
agree
many
with
put
that.
like on here. We have like if he only made 100 of them, so very
Yes,
like
yeah.
So there is that, but it's like I would like a content warning, and definitely an over 18 warning, like some like stuff like that. But it is like it's so interesting, so fascinating. The way he tells the stories is 100%, and it's a peek into a world that like I am from, but also that one that I don't understand. The way that he talked about like gym and stuff like that, I'm just all like, I was like, bro, you're confusing me right now. But because a lot of the times I was just all like, but why? But and then when you like get like some of the backstory, like some of the trauma and stuff like that, and I was just like, oh, that explains why. But still, why?
So I will be thankful to Richard for from now until the end of my days for giving me the peak of a male bathhouse, because I one time tried to get into one and they wouldn't let me, and I told them I just want to watch and they wouldn't let me.
Well,
So I feel like I was in there watching and it was very satisfying.
agreed.
So I also just want to mention I bought these 3 books after a conversation with him at a convention. I don't remember what convention it was, but he happened to mention that his idea for writing a book that he wrote, he got after speaking with us on the floor of San Diego Comic-Con. And I was trying to think as I was reading this, was this the book he was talking about? I have no idea at all, and I have no idea about what we talked about because we were all so drunk because we had just come off
From
of the pirate ship. And I do remember running into him on the floor and standing there and talking for half an hour to 45 minutes about who knows what, because I certainly don't. But I do remember trying to be like, okay, like I was like so like thought-provoking and philosophical, and we were like talking to him like so serious about what I'll never be able to tell you. And I told him that. I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember talking to you, but I don't remember. And he kind of laughed. I don't know if he'll ever tell, but I know I won't, because I have no idea what we talked about. You guys were both there, so you were.
Yes. Actually, Jen at one point started speaking in French.
I kind of remember that.
She was speaking to this guy in French, and I was like, what is going on?
What the fuck?
I do remember that.
Did I freaking unlock all my French courses? Jesus Christ, I can barely remember. Jesus.
I was like, I kind of understand her, but I don't know what's going on. And then, yeah. And then we went to Fairgray.
All my language abilities unlocked when I drink.
Know, seriously. No, but this is, I feel like this book is such a gift. Like, I really treasure it. I feel like as soon as I started reading it, and when he was talking about he doesn't sound like himself, and he doesn't recognize himself, like when you record your voice and you listen to yourself, you're like, that's what I sound like. Like when he went into depth on that, I was like, oh yeah, this is the book for me. And I just loved every bit of it. I just, even the little captions right before the stories of the year and the month and kind of a description, it was just really amazing. One of the other quotes that hit me really, really hard and really defined me was, I'm braver now. I'll walk straight into situations I know will end badly. That must be 100%. It's like you walk into these situations and you're like, it's gonna fuck me up, but you still do it anyway. Love it. Just anyway, I could keep going. I could recite all these things, and I can, but the art was just incredible. All the dialogue and everything just made so much sense, and I think the fact that he wrote it, he was able to kind of like draw the expression of the character just perfectly in that conversation, and I just really loved it. I thought this was just super amazing. And they even did karaoke, which I thought was super cool.
Are we ready to rate and review it?
Yes, let me just show you guys the part about the octopus. I thought that was fucking fantastic. Anyway, yes, we're ready. I can keep going, but yes, I love this book. Love this book. My new favorite. Okay, honestly, 100%. This is my favorite book as of right now in this year.
Wow.
Yes. So actually, what is our rating scale? Because I'm ready to rate.
So our rating scale is a scale of 1 to 3 conchas. 3 conchas being the most conchas that Jen's mom ever let her eat in one sitting. So that was the best. But if it is a book off the charts, we will give it our own individualized rating. So, Sarah, why don't you get started since you are so excited and chomping at the bit about the book?
Oh my God, yes. To me, it's like the whole panaderia, the whole bakery, the whole thing, and a box of red wine, like
the beatboxes,
and maybe a cigarette and an ashtray, kind of still smoking in the background.
Well, we're gonna have to give a warning for. I mean, we were pretty tame on what we spoke about, but I think we have to give a warning. Just for my rating alone, I'm gonna give it 3 bathhouse penises and a side of silver daddies. So
all the old men your heart can desire.
Yes.
Silver hawks. Sorry, old reference.
I'm gonna stick with our traditional rating. I'm gonna give it 3 conchas and a cup of champurrado. I think this book was amazingly done. I love the storytelling in it. I love the artwork. And I want to be that old drunk lady that he was describing. Like,
and she was drinking gin.
She was drinking gin,
and she brought her own glass, and she let her in the hotel.
Yeah,
with her little dog too. And
I want to be that. I want to be that old lady so bad.
Oh my God! And the reference right after, like the inner monologue he had right after meeting her was superb. I mean, I could say it in the podcast, but you got to read the book. You got to
read it.
Yeah.
Gotta get it. Demand that he make more.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Or even have a PDF file available.
Yes, of course.
I'm wondering if this is just limited edition for this cool cover, maybe.
Oh yes.
It might be because I can't imagine that he'll only ever do 100.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just so amazing. The storytelling was just brilliant.
On point. You deserve all the awards that you get.
Yes, absolutely. And the fact that you drew it, you wrote it, you did the lettering, which again, the lettering was awesome.
Amazing.
So I just amazing. I just really loved it. I want to say so much more, but I don't want to ruin.
But we're at an hour and 16 minutes, so don't say anything else.
Yeah.
That has been our book review. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for En la Libreria. Jen, what do you have for us today?
All right, I'm gonna make this quick. So today I have Wrath Month: Stories of Queer Rage, the punk anthology where queer rage kicks down the doors of fantasy, science fiction, and horror.
Ooh,
so
rage and horror. Thank you.
Yeah. So Wrath Month is the book of queer rage. There's lots of reasons to be angry right now, so we're smashing into Pride 2025 with a gang of radical queer writers in a brand new anthology. We're channeling our fury into a new collection of biting, blood-splattered stories at the cutting edge of fantasy, horror, and science fiction. It's time to kick down the doors of convention and release vengeful lesbian witches, anti-fascist mutants, trans femme superheroes, and a whole lot more. Anger lies at the heart of queer liberation. Wrath can be a spur to action and the only righteous response to a world that would prefer we didn't exist. And right now, we at Bona Books are fucking angry. So join the riot. Let's crash mainframes, collapse empires, and break normativity. Pride Month is over. It's time for Wrath Month. And then
Nice.
they have a breakdown of there's going to be 16 stories. They give an introduction of all of the authors and the artists that are going to be on it. There's a lot. And then I believe that they did I Want That Twink Obliterated, which I had done
yeah.
previous in la libreria before, which was a lot of fun, got fully funded. And then there's a bunch of add-ons that you can choose, as well as whatchamacallit, pledge goals as well. There's a jock strap.
Nice.
Nice. But here we go, stretch goals, that's what I was thinking. So definitely check it out. They have a goal of $11,545, which they have exceeded at $25,725 with 385 backers and 19 days to go as of recording this. You can always make a pledge without expecting a reward, but the base pledge does start at, let's see, 10. Yeah, that's the pound sign. 10 pounds, which is about 14 USD. You get an ebook version of the book, and then if you want your name in the like acknowledgement of the ebook, it is going to be 16 pounds. And then if you want a physical copy of the book, it's going to be 20 pounds, which is about 28 USD. And then it keeps going on up from there. Definitely check it out. I think it looks really, really cool. It's like all in black with like pink lettering and like really that
Ooh.
anarchy, like the anarchist like kind of font. I mean, it's a font now. It used to not be a font. But it looks really, really, really cool. Check it out. It's a Wrath Month on Kickstarter.
Awesome. All right, guys, now it's time for Juntos y Fuertes. Kristen, what do you have for us today?
So today I have for all of our listeners some resources that you can access if you yourself or you know someone who is an undocumented immigrant, and also if you are not and you just want to help an organization that does that. So CHIRLA, which stands for here we go, what is it? Excuse me, Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles. They are an organization that was founded in 1986 to advance the human and civil rights of immigrants and refugees. CHIRLA became a place for organizations and people who support human rights to work together for policies that advance justice and full inclusion for all immigrants. And they provide a lot of services and resources for undocumented immigrants. They have programs that they put together, as you're seeing all across Los Angeles right now. They put together how to organize a protest, so you know how to do it safely and successfully. They really work also on policy and advocacy in the law arena. They also importantly provide legal services, community education and outreach, and they also have chapters in Mexico. So you can find more information about them at chirla.org. That's CHIRLA.org.
Wow, that's very, very good information. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right, guys, we usually have a segment called Saludos, but this time, because of the times and what's going on in the world, we have a segment now called Desgraciados. Kristen, ¿quiénes son los pinches desgraciados in this episode today?
Well, There's no time to tell the long list of everybody. Obviously, all of the horrible people out there defending what's going on right now against the undocumented immigrants here in Los Angeles and across the nation. All are on the Desgraciados list. But we also have a resurgence of an old favorite. Christy Shin is back at it. She has either herself created another persona called Michael Zhang, or she has a friend called Michael Zhang who sent out an email today basically saying that everything that everybody has said about her and has done has been a smear campaign, and at this point is libel because her case was closed and unfounded. And that is not the truth. It was not closed and unfounded. In fact, Jim, the treasurer, basically said that what she is referring to is a certain action that happened in the case, that the officer, the detective, once he went and finished that part of the investigation, he closed that part of the investigation, but the entire investigation is not closed. This letter basically named me by name. Sorry, Sarah, you got left out. But named myself as ringing the shame bells at WonderCon.
You're just living rent free in her head.
Yes.
She isn't even a afterthought.
It's been months. It's been since March that happened. And the fact that this email came out today, I was like, you know what? Most people, if I were her, I would be like, you know what? Nobody is talking about the fact that I stole $10,000 from this organization. It's been quiet. I'm just going to crawl under a freaking rock and pretend like it didn't happen. And hopefully it will all go away. If I were her, that's what I would do. But she is, first of all, she's bringing it up again, putting it in the forefront of everyone's minds and pissing people off. And so 100% I'm taking my bell to freaking San Diego Comic-Con. If you're listening right now, Christy, be prepared because I'm going to shame the fuck out of you again. You stole money and you deserve to pay for what you did. And you do not deserve to have a table at San Diego Comic-Con. And whether or not Michael's a real person or you're the person sending these emails, girl, like, you are making it worse for yourself. Why don't you just come out and apologize? And honestly, I feel really, really bad, kind of, because I feel like exactly what you said, Jen. It's living rent free in her mind, and I feel like there's some kind of psychosis stuff going on there, that she has some issues where she's the one that needs a hug and needs to go to therapy. And like, it's getting to the point where I almost feel bad about continuing on with this, thing that we're doing to try to make her take accountability, because I feel like she's just not in her right mind. And so but at the same time, it makes me so angry, and it's these kinds of actions that just want me to continue on and be like, you know what, like, I'm not going to let it go. Like, you still hurt a lot of people, and you're not sorry for it. You just want to move the blame somewhere else. And in the letter, she starts talking about stuff that has nothing to do with anything, but is a personal attack on people. And I also got downgraded from wife to partner to to Eddie. But maybe that was just her super, like, she's like, I'm gonna write this because Michael Zhang wouldn't know that because our names are different that I'm not his wife. So maybe Michael Zhang really did write the letter, but also, who the F is Michael Zhang? So, and so the letter was written and forwarded to a bunch of people. Joe Pye's publicist,
What?
Dustin Nguyen's manager or publicist or something like that, to multiple conventions, just a long list of people that I'm like, oh my goodness, like, you're the one being accused of doing something wrong here. And what is she telling people? If this really is a person who is doing this and writing a letter in defense of her, what is she actually telling people? And has she said it so many times now that she believes it? Like,
100%.
Anyway, thank you, Christy, for giving us the idea for our new segment, Desgraciados.
Mm-hmm. Desgraciada.
Desgraciados. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of this episode. Where can they find us?
You can find us at our website at commoditycomics.com. You can find links to all of our socials there. You can find us on YouTube at Commodity Comics Podcast, where you can watch each episode. And of course, you can listen to us on every major streaming platform. If you want to email us, reach out to us, you can do that at commoditycomics@gmail.com.
Yes, actually, yes. Perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time and spending it with us. We hope we have been a good part of your day. And remember, you have to stay strong out there. We believe in you. We believe in ourselves. We are worthy. We are here, and we're fucking staying. We have been your hosts. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jen.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.